usually don't do this kind of stuff, like, you know, address certain people and the things that they're talking about or they're trying to teach or whatever. But I want to address this one young lady. I assume that she's a female because her name is Carpenter's Daughter, and she has a message or a presentation entitled "The False Teachings of the Sacred Name Movement." And you know, everyone has false teaching somewhere. No belief system or religion is exempt from some sort of false teaching or false doctrine. No one's exempt from that. Just because we say Yahweh doesn't mean that that we're exempt from that. But what I'm gonna do is we're gonna go through this video, and then we're gonna touch on certain topics that she's talking about. The first thing that she says here in the beginning of the video states that the Sacred Name Movement began around 1920, 1930. So if we're going to start talking about false teachings, let's address that right there and her statement. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to type up and see when this sacred new movement began. Okay, so in Leviticus 23 it states, "And I will set my face against that man, and will cut him off from among his people, because he hath given of his seed unto Moloch, to defile my sanctuary and to profane my holy name." Alright, so Yahweh calls his name here holy, which is can be sacred, set apart. We go here, and that's Strong's numbers 6944, Kodesh, apartness, holiness, sacredness, separateness, apartness, sacredness, holiness. Okay, this young lady stated that the Sacred Name Movement started in the 1920s with the Church of God and the Jehovah's Witness. Well, right here we see that the Sacred Name Movement began in Leviticus. This is the first time that his name is called holy or set apart. And I'm sure if we look further, there's probably another place that it calls his name holy or set apart. So we see actually that this sacred name situation didn't come about in the 1920s. So we will debunk that statement from her and stamp that as false teaching. Carpenter's Daughter, you might have to do a little bit more homework. Also, she stated it grew out of division of the Church of God and Seventh-day Adventists. Well, in all reality, they really don't, you know, they don't really call on the name like that. The names to the Church of God, the name isn't really too much of a big deal, because obviously they still hold that title, Church of God. So if they knew and understood where this word God originated from, they wouldn't be using it. So obviously they don't have, you know, too much of a big deal about that. So I'm going to continue to play the video, and then we'll get into further some more of her statements. So bear with me. Like I said, I usually don't do this kind of stuff. I usually just concentrate on studying on the scriptures, the feast days, so on and so forth. But this one here just kind of rubbed me the wrong way, because, you know, Christians and people in particular will do and say anything to stay in the belief system, or in the frame of mind, or in the walk that they're comfortable in. You know, they try to make the walk adjust to them, and people don't want to adjust to Yah. You see what I'm saying? There's another brother out there that I wanted to touch on too, but like I said, I really don't want to get into all that bashing each other thing. But let's continue with this video. Okay. She says the primary concern of this movement is the written and oral use of the name of Yahweh or Jesus. Well, basically, I will admit some people in this walk, they get real dogmatic about how you pronounce the name or how you write it. I can agree with her on this. I think we should think about more about the character of Yah as opposed to how you pronounce the name. I know there's certain people in this walk that get all crazy of Yahuwah, Yahweh, 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 and they get all crazy about the pronunciation of the name, but they don't really pay too much mind of the character of Yah. And when we look up that word name, that's really what it's dealing with. It's dealing with the reputation or the character of Yah. And that's what we should put above any and every pronunciation. I'm not saying that we can walk around here calling him Jesus. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that we can walk around here calling him Lord or God. You see what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is people that have the knowledge of the true pronunciation of the true name, Yahweh, Yahweh, Yahuwah, Yahweh, whatever, Yahweh, whatever it is, Yeshua, Yahshua, Yehoshua, whichever one it is that you have, if you have a Hebrew idea of his name, brothers and sisters, we should concentrate on the character of Yah, because this is what Christians do. They see us fighting about the pronunciation of the name, and then these are the type of videos that they put out, because us, the people of Yah, don't have it together enough to show each other love, even if we do mispronounce the name just a tad bit. You see, at least the Christians can agree on one thing: the Lord. You see what I'm saying? But we can't. We claim to know the name, but we don't practice his character, and that's the soul of the matter. That's the weightier matter of his name. Let's continue. Well, the sacred name movement was okay. Secondary concern is the disagreement in varying degrees of the name of Jesus. I don't understand what she's saying by degrees, but let's continue. Okay. So the statement is, the disagreement extends to Christians who refuse to use the Hebrew name only for their pagan practices. Well, basically, if most of the times that name Jesus is attached to a pagan characteristic, most of the time